see the light inside the tunnel, cause it's feeling like we'll never get out. We living in these days. The job's in the gutter, family suffer, though it's rough, we gonna figure it out. We living in these days, in these days, in these days, in these days. We living in these days. There's nothing guaranteed except to breathe, so I'ma put it down before I leave. We living in these days.
When did the world get so complicated? So many different guesses on how we were created. We all are family, even if we're not related, and we all are here together, yet our minds seem segregated. Seems like most of y'all live your life with no purpose, not being happy with what you have, and the worst is you're in search of a life that might seem perfect, but once you achieve it, you'll question if it was worth it. So what bothers me is that there's still racism. Government created AIDS and it's still killing. They make you think what they want, it's all part of their plan. They suppress your creativity so you could never stand on your own 2 feet. So you watching the news for guidelines that bend the truth for ratings and hide it all in your blind spot. At the same time thinking if I wanna replay, keep adjusting accordingly since we living in these days.
It's hard to see the light inside the tunnel, cause it's feeling like we'll never get out. We living in these days. The job's in the gutter, family suffer, though it's rough, we gonna figure it out. We living in these days, in these days, in these days, in these days. We living in these days. There's nothing guaranteed except to breathe, so I'ma put it down before I leave. We living in these days. The times are so ill, blindness ain't just a lack of eyesight, it's more real. People with no jobs and families got no meals, so more people's getting robbed cause more people gon' steal. I call it crime inflation, they saying crime drop when we got officers dealing guns and supplying pot. Them statistics are useless, politicians are ruthless. You can say what you want, I only say what the truth is. College tuition's out of the mission, institutions are looting, the system out of commission. People thinking I'm stupid cause all this hour we twisted. Truth is just mind your business cause business mind is division. Opening doors, too many got closed. Some people got dropped but they can't seem to find the road. Freedom ain't something given, it's living what's in your soul. So I'm letting freedom ring around the globe and the time is now. It's hard to see the light inside the tunnel cause it's feeling like we'll never get out. We living in these days. The job's in the gutter, family suffer, though it's rough, we gonna figure it out. We living in these days, in these days, in these days, in these days. We living in these days. There's nothing guaranteed except to breathe, so I'ma put it down before I leave. We living in these days. I need your hands in the sky right now. We taking a stand and we cannot lie down. Determined to win and we will. It's the drive, it's still, so we rise, never yield. Ayy, I need your hands in the sky right now. We taking a stand and we cannot lie down. Determined to win and we will. It's the drive, it's still, so we rise, never yield. Ayy, it's hard to see the light inside the tunnel cause it's feeling like we'll never get out. We living in these days. The job's in the gutter, family suffer, though it's rough, we gonna figure it out. We living in these days, in these days, in these days, in these days. We living in these days. There's nothing guaranteed except to breathe, so I'ma put it down before I leave. We living in these days.